Hey there, it's Mike. How's it going? What is today? Friday, October the 7th. The foliage in the northeast kingdom of Vermont is getting pretty darn close to peak, as you can see here. You're gonna have to pick your direction with it, but it's coming. It's a beautiful thing. We know how to do foliage in these parts, I'll tell you that. But I didn't have anything specific to talk about. I just wanted to kind of capture the moment and document the impending foliage, or the impending peak of the foliage, and just comment on what a gorgeous day it is, unseasonably warm. Gotta love it. Prancing around here in a t-shirt. I could be prancing around in shorts and flip-flops even if I wanted, but all that stuff's put away until spring. God, look at that foliage over there. Those people in the cemetery don't know how good they have it. But maybe they do. Maybe they know something we don't. It's hopefully it's paradise on the other side, whatever's waiting for us. Maybe I'll talk about that. I think I don't know what's on the other side. I believe there's something. I don't think it's just blackness. And I think whatever that something is has an awful lot to do with the way we lived our lives. Mostly the way we treated people, and whether or not we lived with honor and integrity, and how well we lived up to that. Some people call that heaven and hell. I don't have a problem with that. I choose not to define it. I'm not into organized religion. I try not to get into the nomenclature. My problem isn't with God or Jesus or the Creator or any other prophets or entities or supreme beings. My problem is with organized religion. It's how people fuck it up. It's a shameful thing, all the things that have been done in the name of religion. Organized religion has an awful lot of blood on its hands. When you think about the Crusades, the Inquisition, the conquest of the Americas, and more modern interpretations would be things like the Ku Klux Klan and the Nazis, and some really ugly things to do with religion. Does that mean that religion is all bad? I don't think so. I think it is what it is, and it is what you make of it. Because if you've heard in some of my previous rants, I think I've seen religion bring out the best in people, and I've seen it bring out the worst in people. And I do believe in freedom of religion, or freedom to not believe anything. There's a lot of good friends I have, people I love and care about, that are atheists too. And there's a big debate roaring about that. I don't waste a whole lot of energy thinking on that or worrying about that, because we all have a right to believe or not to believe as we see fit. So those that condemn the other side, the believers that condemn the non-believers, and the non-believers that condemn the believers, they're all entitled to their point of view on that. And in all honesty, why am I mumbling today? I find it difficult to dispute a lot of the things that the non-believers say, as far as wanting proof. But I think I'm a believer. I'm not a believer in religion. But I'm a believer that there's something greater that created us and watches over us and holds us accountable, and to whom we'll one day meet again and have to account for the way we lived our lives. But I think that's something you feel. You either feel that or you don't, and I feel it. How do I feel it? I feel in my life there's a lot of things that have happened for a reason. I feel like a lot of situations in my life where it felt like it was an obstacle, and as unbelievably frustrating as that was, looking back in retrospect now, I see that was divine intervention, that there was something bigger, something wiser looking out for me, protecting me from myself, and wanting me to wait for something bigger or better or different, and I see that very clearly. The other way that I see that is with karma. Things that I've done that I know that I shouldn't have done, There's been hell to pay for that, especially when I was younger. You know, when you're younger, experimenting with different behaviors, I found out pretty darn quick that there's hell to pay for behaving with dishonor, and to not live in integrity, and to not, when you're not treating people with peace and love and dignity and compassion. There's a hell of a price to pay for that. Now, I don't know if that's the case for everyone, but it sure as hell is the case for me, and it keeps me on the straight and narrow. And I wouldn't want it any other way. That's what gives life meaning for me, is integrity. If on some level, sure, maybe it would be fun or neat if you could do things and rip people off and just cheat and lie and do that with impunity and get away with that left and right. But it wouldn't give life much meaning. What would the meaning of life? I don't know how. I'm not saying that right, but what is the point of all that? Just greed and avarice, and me, not thinking about others. And I think it's important to, you know, think about what your own needs and putting your own needs first. But certainly there's a limit of, you know, not at the expense of others. There's a hard line there for me. That if I am thinking about doing something and it's at the expense of others, I think I probably need to rethink that. So that's how I come to feel it. And I found, like I said, I'm not a religious person, but I do believe in the power of prayer. And I found that the prayer has been a powerful force in my life. I've had a lot of positive things manifest from that. And to the non-believers who think that's a bunch of bullshit, that's certainly your right and your privilege. But even if I'm praying to nothing, it's a form of affirmation. And affirmations can be powerful too. We are what we think we are, and what we and also we are our intentions. So if I'm reciting affirmations about my beliefs about myself and my goals and my character and integrity and the way I want to live, it does act as an affirmation, and it plants in my self-conscious seeds that grow and ultimately bear fruit. Now, I'm not talking about this perfect life where, you know, it's all flowers and roses and there's never any challenges or problems or upset or anything. It's not like that. But I've seen that manifest positive things in my life. So even if it is just affirmation, I find it worthwhile. But I do believe there's something greater out there. I don't know who it is or what it is or how it works. I don't pretend to understand that, and I don't believe I'm meant to understand it. I just call it the Creator and try to commune with it and talk to it, ask it for guidance, thank it for the abundance and prosperity and positive things and positive relationships in my life, and I try to do that every day. I do that when I come out here on a walk. That's part of my walk / meditation / prayer thing that I do. And that's why I do these little videos here in the park, because I have just finished doing that, and I have either some kind of clarity or aha moment or some kind of reflection or something that has meaning, if only to me, and just feel like flapping my gums about it. And it seems like there was another point I was going to make on that. It's funny how just looking over at a cemetery can get a whole chain of thought going. But we're going back of what's after this life for us. I don't know for sure. I don't have proof, and I don't require proof. It's like I said, it's just something you either feel or you don't feel. But I believe there is something after this, and I think there was something before this. I can't give you any kind of proof. No one can. But it's something I feel and something I believe. That lessons in previous lives are being played out in this life, and lessons perhaps not learned in previous lives are being played out in this life. Maybe this life, it's for me to learn in this life. And I believe there's something after this. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way I lived my life, whether I'll go to what some people call heaven or some people call hell. Whatever you want to call that, it's accountability. And I don't, when that day comes, the religious people call it Judgment Day, whatever that is, wherever and with whomever that is, no one's going to be able to bullshit their way through that or out of that. We're going to be held to account for every little thing that we did wrong, and every way that we wronged people and took advantage of people in situations. We're going to be held accountable for that. And none of us is perfect. We've all made mistakes in that, some more than others, but there's no sidestepping that, and there's no bullshitting our way through that. And I suppose, depending upon how that goes, that's the direction that our afterlife takes, whether it's something positive, which some would call heaven, or if it's something negative, which we call hell. Our accountability has everything to do with that. And I'm not an expert on past lives or future lives or any of that, reincarnation, but it resonates with me. It feels right. And I believe that someday, some way, that we will come back, or at least I'll come back in some other shape or form, and with things to learn and challenges to overcome, and just all of that. Yeah. And it seems like there was another thought on that, but I just can't think of it. Yeah, so, one of the things I was thinking about, I do believe in freedom of religion, whether you're free to believe or not believe, and the debates between atheists and believers, I can't really dispute what the atheists say, but it doesn't change my belief. And I guess one of the issues that I have with that whole debate is it's kind of one-dimensional, that either you don't believe there's anything, or that you believe that the Bible or Scripture or any of that is history. Now, I think probably some of that is history. I think a lot of that is storytelling to make a point. It's a lot easier to create lessons and to teach people to be moral and all of that with stories, rather than just to say, do not lie, do not steal, do not do this, do not do that. I think it's a lot easier to tell a story about something that happened to this guy and his consequences that happened, and there's the moral of the story. I think it's a lot easier to learn about morality and altruism that way than just to preach at people. So how much of it is true, how much is history, I don't know, and frankly I don't care. All that matters to me is, does the message resonate? Let's say that story about some guy who sinned about whatever. Does that message resonate with me? Have I learned a valuable lesson listening to that? Was there an aha moment there? If there was, if I got something positive out of that, I don't fucking care whether that really happened or any of that. So that's my issue, I guess, with those debates between atheists and believers, is my issue is, well, do you believe or do you not believe? Is Bible or any other book, is that fact? Is that history? Did that stuff really happen? Some of it probably did, some of it probably didn't, and some of it's probably loosely interpreted. And I don't really care. There's positive message in all of that, and if you're getting something positive out of that, or if someone's getting something positive out of that, that's all that matters to me. I'm not an expert on any of that, but I've read a little bit of Scripture. I grew up Christian, and I was exposed to a lot of that, and I've been exposed to the teachings of other religions, and there's some powerful, profound messages in there too. But again, organized religion isn't for me. I'm very much an equal opportunity cherry picker when it comes to the message. I don't align with any particular religion because I don't want to get caught up in the political bullshit, the manipulation and the emotional blackmail. That's what I get out of organized religion, and about not doing it in a solitary fashion. If people get something out of that, doing it in a group, more power to them. And like I said, if I've seen religion bring out the best in people, and I've seen it bring out the worst in people. If whatever your religion is, or even if you're an atheist, whatever that path is for you, if that brings out the best in you, if that makes you a more peaceful, loving, compassionate person with character and integrity, and I've seen nobody has a corner on integrity either. I've known plenty of atheists with integrity, plenty of believers with integrity, and vice versa. So no one has a corner on integrity. But whatever your beliefs are, or lack of beliefs, or whatever your path is, if that makes you a better person, I'm all for it. I support it. I celebrate it. I think it's a fabulous thing. I think we need to all think about celebrating and be more tolerant of other beliefs. Conversely, if whatever your path is makes you a righteous, judgmental, condescending, intolerant asshole, well, I don't want to be around you. I'll do my best to avoid you. That's all I can say. I can only speak for myself, but it is what it is. And I think I'll leave it there. That's my little rant on foliage and the cemetery, and just kind of pulling a thread, see where it takes me. Thanks for listening. I hope this was interesting to you. At the very least, I hope you enjoyed the scenery. It's a gorgeous, 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 gorgeous day. If any of this resonated, I'd love to hear from you. If it didn't resonate, if you think it's a bunch of bullshit, if you have a differing thought or opinion, by all means, please share. I'm just speaking what's in my heart. And to me, the Bill of Rights is the closest I get to religion. The freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to keep and bear arms, and the right to not be messed with from the government without probable cause. We all have what I call personal sovereignty. As long as you're not bothering anybody or victimizing other people or doing things at the expense of others, we have personal sovereignty, personal freedom to live our lives as we see fit, with whatever religious beliefs, personal beliefs, desires, goals, ambitions. As long as we're not messing with other people, we have freedom for that. So I post my opinions with that in mind, that I have my opinions. I have sovereignty in my opinions. I have a right to my opinions. You have a right to yours as well. If they differ, well, it's unfortunate, but hopefully we can agree to disagree and coexist, and even talk. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. Arguing about it is another matter, but see, I just started on another rant. I'd go on another 10 minutes there, but anyway, what am I, 17 minutes into it? I think that's enough. Thanks for listening. Have yourself a wonderful day, and we'll catch you on the other side, one way or another.